Good morning, everyone. Let's just wait a couple of seconds till everyone can log in, and we'll start in a few seconds. Like at the election day, I would say. Okay, I think we can start. The really warm welcome here from us to every participant. Welcome to our event, Offshore Wind Poland, an opportunity for Scandinavian companies. We decided to present this actually pretty important puzzle of a green energy transition in Poland from a slight different perspective, from perspective of Scandinavian companies. Important question, why this approach? Firstly, there is and will be a lot of webinars regarding offshore wind, because this is a huge issue in Poland. This is a big topic. There is a pretty costier, let's say, part of green transition, I would say, and this is one reason why we are doing it from this other approach, is that Scandinavian companies, where we as a Rödl partner are in any of these companies from those countries, our clients are asking about how it's going when it will start with the development of the building of the wind farms in Poland. These are questions, and there is a lot of practical questions from our clients about it. And to be fair, I have to admit that the key factor that we are organizing this kind of event is actually idea of Michał Rafałowicz. He asked me and came with this idea because clients of Newmark are asking about storage facilities, about the storage space here in Poland, because they are preparing actually for entering the market and doing business in offshore wind. So these are the reasons, and as I mentioned, Michał, I would like to actually present and introduce to you all of the active participants, panelists, and speakers. And as in some movies, I will do it in the orders of appearance. So first, then Matthias Rach, my dear friend from Stockholm, certified auditor, head of Stockholm office. We made some of events and together about Baltic, about cross boarding, networking, and so on. He will be actually responsible from the Scandinavian point of view. Then, as mentioned before, Jakub Plebański will give you some introduction into the Polish offshore wind market. Jakub is an excellent energy lawyer in our Gdańsk office Rödl partner, and then we will have Michał Rafałowicz, head of Newmark Pomeranian. He is responsible, and he actually built from the scratch here the branch here in North Poland with success of Newmark. and he will give us some insight into the storage facilities into the region of Pomeranian as a, let's say, possible hub for Scandinavian companies that will come here and do business in this area. Then Karolina Lipinska. Karolina Lipinska, we have met a couple of months ago on an event. Karolina is passionate expert of renewables and will give us some information about, let's say, I would say, education and in Poland, here in the region of Pomerania, regarding the offshore wind. So Karolina is the one who is actually responsible for networking and bringing together companies that are working or will be working in an offshore industry, and and as well with youngsters, with new generation of employees. So this is I would say important input for this discussion. Then Joanna Kubik from Randstad. Joanna Kubik, Randstad, well-known multinational company in human resources or consulting, will give us some insight from this hard, let's say, issue of getting good employees. And as we know, Scandinavian companies are pretty often and eager and active seeking for Polish employees. We will see how it will look like in the future. Is the market still competitive? And this will be a part of a panel discussion as well. And last but not least, my colleague Jakub Weiss, tax advisor here from Gdańsk, head of tax department in Gdańsk, will give us some insight into pretty heavy stuff of taxes within this whole offshore industry. Of course, in a couple of minutes, it will be not a big lecture or presentation, but just to focus, to give you some example what to look after and so on. Okay, so these are our participants. As for me, my name is Piotr Mrowiec. I am attorney at law, head of Gdańsk office, and as well head of renewable team by Rödl partner. And happy to be as well, let's say, co-organizer of this event. Okay, let's go with some, let's say, just a few sentences about Rödl partner. Where we are all over the world, but most important, we are in Poland and in Scandinavia. In Poland, we are in 6 offices, roughly 600 employees, and we'll give us one-stop shop legal, tax, audit, BPO services to mostly medium companies from let's say countries from Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but as well from all other clients. And what I'm of, we are pretty active in the renewable advice or consultancy market as well. And perhaps Matthias, if you could, I will jump into the, let's say, Scandinavian. You can see we have a lot of rewards and rankings, but this is something that you can read later. if you
Yes.
wish. And now, Matthias, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Piotr, for the introduction. Yeah, Matthias Ratz is my name. As I said, auditor and head of the Stockholm office. Just a couple of short words about Sweden. We have 2 offices presently in Stockholm and Malmö. We are around 40 colleagues in total in Sweden, doing audit, assurance services, tax services, and BPO. And we also can provide with our best friend legal services also. Then we're doing quite a lot of business advisory, such as due diligence, valuation assignments. And as Piotr also mentioned, we are working in Sweden with the mid-sized clients, most with international connection, but we also have actually some smaller pies as listed companies in Sweden also as clients. And last but not least, we are coordinating quite a few assignments also with our Rödl colleagues in Norway, Denmark, and Finland. So I can also be assisting when also regarding question from the other Nordics. So please, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Matthias. And then, as we have not so much time actually, and we would like to go with all of the important stuff as planned. So let's just jump into the presentation of Jakub Lebański. Perhaps about the agenda. We will be talking about some, let's say, scheme and frames of Polish offshore wind. Then, as I said, Michał will give some insight about the warehouse market in Poland, then Karolina about the Pomeranian offshore platform, and then a panel discussion. And if you will have some questions, just please, there is a possibility to ask them, to write them down in a box that you see probably on your right, and we will try to answer them actually shortly or within the discussion or after the discussion. And yeah, so please do it. Yes, Jakub, if you can start with the.
Okay, thank you, Piotr, for your introduction, for your warm welcoming words for me, and I'm happy to present for you the topic of offshore development in Poland today from sunny office in Warsaw. So some words of introduction from my side. Having in mind the main target of today's webinar, which is presenting for Nordic entities some fields where the cooperation in Poland and investments are possible, we definitely should put our attention to the issue of our energy sector and the role which Nordic companies can play in the modernization of this energy sector. The first information which you should bear in mind is the fact that despite the fact that we are in the 21st century, Poland still has a energy mix based on energy coal production, which is totally against the rules of environment-friendly production of energy provided by European Union, and we are still before a big challenge of broad modernization of our energy sector to fulfill environment requirements and to meet some goals regarding of modern energy providing. Apart from construction of nuclear powered plants, which is a long-term big investment and quite centralized and using in politics also, building of offshore wind farms in Poland this is one of the biggest and the most broadened programs of modernization of Polish energy sector, which is quite, I would say, friendly for Scandinavian entities. First, because of the Baltic Sea and our neighborhood, and the second because of experience of Scandinavian entities in this market. Starting from the very beginning, I would say about some natural conditions which are I would say exclusive for Poland and for Baltic Sea as a whole, and which enable the efficient and really contributing the development of offshore wind farms. Under the examination of scientists of Polish Wind Energy Association, the whole potential of the Polish part of Baltic Sea enables construction of offshore wind farms with a capacity of 33 gigawatt, and the total potential of the Polish Baltic Sea enable generation of 130 terawatt hours of electricity per year. So this is the potential of covering 57% of Polish energy demand yearly. So the potential on the Baltic Sea is a big, and for now, as for today, there is no offshore wind farms in Poland which produce electricity. So this is the issue of future and further development. Offshore energy wind production has a good condition for development on the Baltic Sea. As I mentioned before, Baltic Sea, apart from North Sea, which is also well equipped when it comes to the offshore development, has a really significant advantages enabling the development of offshore wind farms. Very good wind condition, stable geology, low average depth, and relatively few regulatory restrictions. It brings us to the results of the energy efficiency of production from offshore wind farms. According to some general calculation, the 1 MV installation installed on within the offshore technology enables to product 3,900 megawatt hours yearly, in comparison to the photovoltaics, where the 1 MV enables merely for production of 1,050 megawatt hour yearly, and comparing to the land wind farms, where the possible generation is only 2,500 megawatt hour per year. So the natural condition, the stability of Baltic Sea and the winds of Baltic Sea predestine the Poland as a good place for investment for offshore development. Next slide regards some more realistic plans of development of offshore wind farms in Poland, because on the first slide I provided you with knowledge regarding, let's say, more general and natural conditions, which are the maximum potential of Polish development of offshore wind farms. However, the national plans of development of offshore wind farms are ambitious and should be taken into account given the future investment. By 2030, Poland plans to construct offshore wind farms with a whole capacity of 12 gigawatt, and by 2040, 18 gigawatt. 18 gigawatt from scratch, because for now, as I mentioned before, there is no offshore wind farms in Poland. However, currently some projects are already under development. For now, this is about 8.4 gigawatt projects, so there is still a lot of potential to be used by future investors. But projects of capacity 5.9 gigawatt have already received state aid. Few words of explanations. These projects are on different stages of development. In our slide, we present the entirety of projects in offshore wind farms which are realized in Poland. However, as I mentioned, they are on different stages of development. Some of the projects, the most advanced, already signed the grid connection agreement, already have building permit. But we also included projects on the definitely earlier stages of development. For example, this project which already obtained location permits, the permit for locating of artificial devices on Baltic Sea. So these projects are on different stages of development. However, there is a lot of space to for Nordic investments anyway. In 2030, we expect having 13% of energy produced from offshore wind farms. In 2040, it should be enlarged by 90%. So it will be a significant boost for Polish energy mix. And we hope that it will improve conditions of Polish energy mix, because for now, in some conditions, Poland is forced to import energy from other states in the times of the biggest demand. The development of the offshore wind farms, it's not only the value of energy production and the income from energy selling, but also the issue of new workplaces in Poland and the development of other sectors, not only energy sector. According to some general governmental calculations, the whole project of building offshore wind farms will require about 34,000 new job places in Poland, or job places associated to the construction of offshore industry. So this is the biggest. This is the big boost for Polish work market. And also other industries will take benefit of building offshore wind farms. We may look at the metal and steel industry, shipyards, service providers, and other maintenance and installation companies. So the supply chain and other companies related to the supply chain for offshore wind farms in Poland have a lot of space to work. Okay, now I would like to present you some map which in general manner present the future location of energy wind farms in Poland. Please take a look on the center of the Baltic Sea, of the Polish coast of Baltic Sea. It will be the biggest area of construction of offshore wind farms close to the city of Słupsk. This is the part of Baltic Sea which is called Słupska Bank. This is the central part of Baltic Sea, and in the first stage, the offshore wind farms will be constructed in this place. What is important, all offshore wind farms are distanced from the coast of Polish Baltic Sea at least 22 kilometers and located only in Polish maritime economic zone. Apart from this project, look at left more of to the western part of the Baltic Sea. There is another area which is predicted in Polish regulatory acts as a space for construction of offshore wind farms. It will also be used for this target. Okay, when it comes to the space for Scandinavian entities and future investors, please take a look at the names of the leading investors which are currently developing projects of Polish offshore wind farms. There are some Polish entities, PKN Orlen, which is the main oil company in Poland. However, for now, this is the multi-energy company, I would say. PGE, which is the main energy provider in Poland. Polenergia, I would say, the biggest developer of the biggest Polish developer of wind farms in Poland. However, we may see also some Scandinavian rooted entities like Equinor or Ørsted. So these entities are already engaged in Poland, and maybe some opportunity for sharing experience or other cooperation possibilities in this term. Okay, now the slide regarding the potential income from production of energy in offshore wind farms in Poland, and the state mechanism of support for offshore wind farms in Poland. Basically, we have, let's say, two steps program of support for offshore wind farms installation. The first step is already closed. It was the state's aid in the form of individual decisions of President of Energy Regulatory Office. And then investors may look only on the second step, which is a kind of tender, a public tender for offshore wind farms projects. And in the result of this tender, the state will guarantee some constant price for buying of energy from offshore wind farms. Basically, the projects of offshore wind farms are submitted to the tender at the stage of obtaining grid connection conditions, location decision, and environmental decision. After obtaining these decisions, projects may take part in the so-called auction of offshore energy in Poland, which is organized by Energy Regulatory Office, and they compete by the criterion of lower price. They cannot extend the maximum price, which is set by Ordinance of Ministry of Climate. And as a result of this auction, of this tender, the project may grant the public support. In details, the public support works on the basis of publicly guaranteed contract for difference. It means that for 25 years of production of energy, the state guarantees to the producer that it will pay the difference between the energy price of investor submitted in the tender and the average price of energy on the market. So it enables to cover in a quite predictable way to cover the cost of offshore electricity production. The nearest auction is planned on 2025. The next gonna be organized in 2027. We will see if the President of Energy Regulatory Office will decide to organize another one. As for the projects which already obtained the state support, the price guaranteed for energy is 71.8 euro per megawatt hour, so quite attractive comparing with other wind farms which are located on land in Poland. Okay, and the last slide from my side, it is about the supply chain, and in this slide I would like to answer your question. Maybe you wonder how should I find out where to locate my company within the supply chain, or how should I find the space for my company within the development of offshore wind farms? The answer somehow is provided by this supply chain. I mean, all investors who are dealing with offshore wind farms and want to obtain the public support for their installation are obliged to publish the plan of supply chain. This is the detailed plan where the investors present how the services will be executed within this project, which entities will be responsible for this supply chain, and what are conditions of doing it. As I've said before, this is publicly available on the site of Energy Regulatory Office. So given that already projects of wind farm installations with a capacity of 8.4 gigawatts are being conducted in Poland, you may check how already the supply chain is organized in this case, and maybe find some space for your companies, for your investment, for entering a Polish market and entering this supply chain. The important thing within the supply chain, but it's not binding and it's more like a consulting, it's to indicate cooperation with other Polish companies, and this is, we may say, additional value of this supply chain. The investor must indicate, for example, describe the share of capital expenditures in Poland, some investments in Poland, investing in the development of human resources in Poland, estimated number of jobs in Poland which are going to be established, and evidence the dialogue with potential Polish entities. So it's reflected in the supply chain. It's not compulsory to indicate some special or particular share of Polish companies within the supply chain, but some dialogue and consulting need to be expressed, and it's additional value for investors. So these 5 slides are the, let's say, the brief overlook on the development of Polish offshore wind farms. The topic is definitely more complicated and more complex. However, I think that the main conclusion from this presentation should be that this is important part of modernization of Polish energy sector. This is supported by the state, and the state provides 25 years of guarantee for buying of energy. And you as investors may find out additional information how to enter this market, for example, by examination of publicly available supply chains, which are published on the site of Energy Regulatory Office. Thank you for now, and I'm waiting for your question during the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jakub. I think this was a very good introduction into the, let's say, technique or into this field of renewables, which is the big, let's say, industry wave, and investments in this area will be coming in next years. So thank you for this outlook. And then wind industry and offshore industry, what I think of it is nothing to compare, let's say, to PV or even to the onshore wind. Especially the size of the facilities, the size of the blades of the stations, energetic stations. It's huge. Definitely, it requires a lot of storage space, a good storage space when you can achieve it with cars, or better actually with direct access to water. And this is when Michał will give you some expertise of this topic. Please, Michał, go ahead.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for finding time to take part in our webinar. I will try to briefly tell you about the situation on Polish warehouse market in regards to northern Poland and how that may influence your business abilities over here. I represent Newmark Polska. Newmark Polska is a part of a network called Newmark Global. We're multi-national global company, and we are specializing in finding right industrial space for companies to operate their businesses in Poland and across the world. But I'm representing Newmark Poland, so I'm focusing on Poland and north of Poland in particular. I just need to check if my slides are working. Yes, so briefly about the Polish warehousing market. As you can see, I focused on the 3 regions in particular that we finding of being an interest from Scandinavian or Nordic companies specializing in wind power. A few words about the Polish market, warehouse Polish market as such. Last year was quite significant for us because we went through the threshold of 30 million square meters of A-class industrial space in Poland. However, the Polish market took some turbulence last year, as most of the markets, due to the rapid growth during the COVID. We then came to the point where the war started behind our eastern border. That sent inflation quite high up, which in turn turned into quite expensive financing for industrial sector. Generally, there was quite significant drop in the new developments, over 50% year to year, but it's still very significant. Polish is a relatively young market in regards to industrial properties, although we are leading the way in Europe in regards to the new developments. If you look at the Pomerania and West Pomerania, we got in those 2 regions, we got close to 3 million square meters of industrial space, which is 10% of all Poland stock. The average vacancy rate in Poland is 6.7%, what means that a very insignificant number of free warehousing spaces are available on the market to be taken up by new tenants. And 6.7% is worrying. However, in Pomerania, we are on the level of 1.5%. That means that basically there is no property available. So developers are very active in our region, try to proceed with new developments and providing space for businesses. The situation looks very different in West Pomerania. We got still quite high vacancy rate and the lowest rental rates on the market currently, which is good news for all the companies which thinking about locating the business over there. Those 3 regions that I mentioned that are the main focus of Nordic companies who would like to establish businesses in Poland. They all have local airports with very frequent and good connections with all the Nordics, as well as Germany, UK, and others. To be honest, traveling Nordics to Poland, it's a matter of the top of 2 hours, which could be easily swapped for your daily commuting to work in Stockholm, I guess. So many CEOs and management from Nordics are traveling daily to work in some of the locations that I mentioned. So it makes things much easier. As well, what is very important in regards to offshore business and locating, producing and servicing hubs in Pomerania, in West Pomerania, are very frequent and short in length connections, ferry connections. At the moment, we experience a huge boost in the number of connection and frequency of those connections. That allows moving forwards and backwards a large number of stock over the ferry, and that we saw to be a direct clue for the companies from Nordics to locate in north of Poland. We see a huge increase in numbers of new companies setting up the businesses over here because it's really easy to operate. Not without the meaning, the road connections and recent huge development programs which connect Poland to a pan-European TEN system. That, in addition to sea and air connections that I mentioned before, allows companies which operate in the region of north of Poland to be to further diverse their logistics and make sure that they are really benefiting from nearshoring and they got a very diverse ways to provide logistics solutions to the businesses. What else that is quite significant in the way of wind power is recently signed agreement and our project really already started on building a first nuclear plant in Poland. That's supposed to be operating correctly, if I'm wrong, but I think 10 or 12 years from now. And I think that the most significant and interesting things are happening at the moment. So we can see the number of new roads being built, the number of new train connections are being built, all for that, so the project can go ahead and the elements of the project can be supplied by air, road, train and sea. But as it was mentioned before over here, there's always a problem with a grid capability or
connection capacity.
Yeah, capacity. And it was just recently announced that together with that nuclear plant, there's a massive project of building a high capacity power grid, which will connect the north of Poland with the rest of the country and rest of the Europe. And that grid will not only be dedicated to a nuclear plant that is being built, but it will be connecting most of the projects of wind power projects, which are going to be based on Baltics, which I guess it's quite a good news for all the companies that are thinking about setting up their operations in the north of Poland. And obviously that which we cannot really dispute. The regions of north of Poland are among the most windy regions in the country. They provide a natural base for any new projects, both onshore and offshore wind power projects, and picking up decision on locating your projects over here looks quite simple to me. Although I'm not a specialist on wind power, I do warehouses and industrial spaces, but it looks quite good from where I'm sitting. In regards to warehouses and operational spaces, wind power companies are companies which need no normal warehouses, but they need a huge warehouses which both allowing them to operate under the roof, as well as a massive yards when they can complete and put together a large sections of the of turbines, both in servicing and producing them. As you can see, there is a large number. These are the main industrial developers from across the Europe, as well from operating in Poland, which secured a very substantial areas for development of new industrial parks. And the reason that showing you the ones that are planned, because wind power companies, they cannot accommodate within normal industrial parks on already built or those under constructions, because they get very specific requirements. And this slide shows us that due to the amount of land that being secured by the developers, there is a huge opportunity for Nordic companies from wind power industry to start liaising with the obviously hopefully with help from Newmark, liaising with the developers in regards to build to suit facilities, which are going to allow them to operate in optimal condition. So as Poland, as north of Poland, we are very, very favorable in that respect. And that's it really. If you're going to have some more questions, I will be more than happy to answer them after my colleague. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Michał. Really good input. Just to one topic, because this is pretty important for our, let's say, Scandinavian clients. They are not so, let's say, nuclear plant eager, I would say. I would definitely not took any bet that this nuclear plant will be built. Probably yes, because it's pretty advanced project, but yeah, we are talking for years about this investment, and there is some contract with Westinghouse, and but still not any, let's say, hard working on the place have been done. But let's see. But still, this is a really important issue. What you just said is grid connection capacity. We are having a big problem with the free connection capacity in Poland in general. So it's really hard to connect any new renewables, such as wind farms or PV plants, because there is the connections or the lines are not prepared to be fed with such the renewables, renewable energy, because the grid will be not stable as such. So these investments, regardless if there will be any nuclear power plant there or not, will make possible to feed in another gigawatts of new plants and new renewable plants such as offshore wind or PV plants or onshore wind will then be built then in North Poland. So yeah, just to add it, and yeah, we are pretty good in time. That's nice. So Carolina, please introduce us how you see, let's say, the market and the whole offshore wind here in Poland, especially here in North Poland, Baltic.
Thank you very much, Piotr, for the invitation and introduction of my person. I thought when you said that please introduce, I hope it will be not again yourself, because I would be a kind of dinosaur working for the self-government in Pomorskie region. However, I was supposed to speak today about the Pomeranian offshore platform, and that's the main reason that I'm here, because we created the offshore platform 3 years ago, not want to wait for only the governmental decisions about the offshore, but also that we would like to sit within one table, the entities responsible and interested in the development of offshore wind, so that it's a kind of bottom-up approach and bottom-up initiative. And the main goal of Pomeranian offshore platform is to raise the quality and quantity of Polish local content, Pomeranian local content in global market. As you saw also in the presentations before mine, we are building actually this sector from the scratch. Yes, this is the beginning, the very big beginning, and very important. I would say even the biggest possibility to develop for the Pomorskie region, also West Pomeranian region. And we are organizing a lot of networking for companies. Also, we see the international cooperation as a way to raising this local content, because we believe the cooperation is the key. And that's why I'm also here, because even though we can imagine the biggest investments, the most ambitious one, without people and good qualified trainees, we cannot do it. That's why we organized on March this year the first edition of the Edu Offshore Wind, and today I would like to show you why we believe it's so important to educate people and to spread the passion for green energy. And yes, this is the initiative that is under the self-government of the Pomeranian region, and I have a little problem with, okay, it should be now, okay, under the self-government of the Pomorskie Voivodeship, and together with the city of Gdańsk. But it is, I would say, it's a key of the Pomeranian offshore platform and the Pomeranian offshore renewable energy competence center that we are building in the Pomorskie. And this is actually the photo of our team, because we are also a team, a good team, who is eager to raise a passion within youngsters. It is very important, and this photo actually is also very important for me, because it is not by mistake, or I don't know, it is with concrete reason that the girl is looking to the sea, because we want to also show that the offshore wind, the sector, the green energy sector, is also for girls, for women who can find themselves in this working very hard. However, the main goal of the wind offshore wind is to raise the awareness of pupils, of youngsters, how to choose their career path, how to be a part of this sector. Yes, so this is what we are actually organizing, and we prepared ourselves quite good, because we make a research recognition how many schools we have, how many students, and this is also important, especially for companies, to have a contact with students, that they can be a part of their companies, to look for talented people, for well qualified people. So those are also photos from our first edition. It was a lot of interdisciplinary work, trying, doing many things using VRs, and that's what we are also going to do next year in March. We are going, we are dreaming about double the participants, because within the March, the first edition, 5,000 young people visited our fair. So we would like to make a progress also. So a lot of young people have the opportunity to see what is this offshore wind and how can I be a part of it. But not only, I will let you know later on what also new ideas we have. This is the map, I would say, of our cooperation partners. We are also in contact with the Ministry of Climate, of many important institutions from Polish government, because it's very important that we are in a synergy, that we are strengthening the decisions, the directions that the government is doing. We have also very good contact with the Polish space agency that is located actually in Gdańsk, because the space technologies, I think, also make a very important role in critical infrastructure as farms on a CR. And yeah, a lot of developers, the one that were mentioned during the latest presentations, also the small medium enterprises that are thinking about being a part in this sector. And what's also very important, that it was a really very crowded 2 days, and it was that we had a one hall and a space of 5,000 square meters, and as I said, according to the participants, also according to the space, we would like to double and make it possible to allow youngsters to see and the possibilities for their future career path. We also are thinking about the teachers and the parents, because parents sometimes are also the first question, mother, father, what should I do in my life? Yes, so they also should be prepared and aware what is going on the global, when we are speaking about the twin transformation, I mean the green and digital transformation. And this is also how we are going to organize it next year. And yes, and what is very important about our initiative is that the fair actually is the final point, I would say, the dot, because we are under the education process the whole year. From November 2022, we are visiting the schools. That's why we are meeting the directors of those schools and having lectures, workshops with kids, with pupils. We also organize the educational platform and also some lessons at the YouTube that the young people can continue. They work with this sector. It's not only one visit, but it's a complete education program that we would like to present. And the formula is also that the young people are not just going through the stands, but each class has a volunteer who is going through the all stands and speaking with the companies, with the institutions, with the universities that are presenting their offer. And apart from the university island, developers island, we are having the plants that might be especially interested for the Scandinavian companies and institutions. It's about the green transition. We are planning to have the energy transformation island, so we would like to also add to the offshore the hydrogen, the photovoltaics, also the other sources of renewable energies. And it will be definitely most international event. We are organizing Baltic Challenge together with BCCC organization that is governing the regions from the Baltic Sea, and the young people are going to come from the Baltic regions to be a part of 2 days Innovathon and to make solutions for the real problems that our signatories in the offshore Pomeranian offshore platform are gathering. So I believe it will be a kind of openness and a lot of creativity from young people. And it will be organized in March, 5th and 6th of March, also in Amber Expo in Gdańsk. And I believe it will be not only the Pomorskie, I mean, it's a kind of, it's also a cooperation with West Pomerania and other regions from Poland who are going to visit also this event. And we are also asking and having very positive answers from many clusters, European clusters and associations that are also doing a lot of different educational events. And yeah, I mean, with my presentation here, I would like to invite you all to be a part of this event. Especially we are looking for companies, of course, related to the offshore wind energy. We are looking for universities, from business support institutions that are looking for partners in Poland, in Pomorskie region. And also there are a lot of benefits, because apart from this educational backbone, I would say, there is around a lot of businesses. We are planning to have, as it was also on March, after the first day, the networking party for companies, all the stakeholders that will be having their stands, and also invited persons, people from other institutions and companies. And I mean, there was a lot of a real engagement, I would say, from young people. And I think it was from most of them the first time they could touch those sector, not only in a mobile phone, like, you know, teenagers are always doing it right now. And yes, we are planning a lot of workshops, also skills, soft skills workshop, because we think also it is important to for young people to know how to present themselves, how to prepare a CV, how to brief, so not to be too stressed in many occasions. So a lot of accompanying events around this we are going to organize. And also as a part of the evaluation of the first edition of the Offshore Wind, our companies and partners who had their stands asked for possibility to have a space for offering internship and also a concrete job offers. So we are organizing a kind of job track with a menu of internships, concrete jobs. So there will be a space for hires, for departments also, and for visitors to to find the best way. It is also important that we create a kind of introduction of many professions that are in the green energy sector, offshore sector. More than 40 professionals were described, one-pagers. What education do I need? What qualifications do I need? Where I can gain them, and how much money I can earn being a part of this sector. And I think it's especially important for the Generation Z, but maybe not only to have the possibility also. So those are the photos. As you see, a lot of interaction, and yeah, I mean, it was really a pleasure for us to see the smiling people, young people who feel that maybe it's my path for the future. So yes, very welcome, cordially. I would like to invite you for cooperation. I believe this is a possibility also for the Scandinavian companies, also for the Scandinavian institutions, association clusters to be a part to promote education in green sectors. So thank you very much. You have my contacts, and I hope we will stay in contact for a long time.
Thank you, Carolina, for this comprehensive presentation and information. And actually, we will jump then directly into the panel discussion. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panelists. Then, and actually, if you have this, just question to you, dear participants, if you have any questions which you would like to ask, as I said earlier, please write them down. If not, we thought together about, let's say, some interesting topics to be mentioned within this panel discussion. And as we have Joanna here from Randstad, we all know that now there is a lot of discussion about AI, about replacement of, let's say, human by algorithm and so on. But in the offshore wind industry, there will be not happen in the future, and so because it requires really a lot of men work, or as Carolina said, woman work too. So just a typical question that all of our clients are asking. As we know that Poland is struggling with the, let's say, employees, there is hard to get, or it were in the past hard to get any good one. How it looks at the moment now with the market? If you could give us some kind of quick overview. Is Poland a good market to find a suitable employee or not? How is, let's say,
Thank you, Piotr. First of all, good afternoon to everyone. I'm very honored to be here and to share our experience, our knowledge regarding one of the, I think, next to your topics, very important part of every investor's company would like to actually build the structures, build a company in our country. And today we are focusing on a very special one, a special sector, which is a green energy, offshore renewable energy. And what is more on the Scandinavian companies. So we have to take it all together to answer your question, actually, Piotr, because everybody knows that Poland I would say, if we look at the unemployment rate, it doesn't look very promising, yes, when it comes to the talent pool availability to our investors. However, we in Randstad, we are looking at the talent pool a little bit differently. We are, as you know, very close to candidates, very close to employers, and very close to the institutions who are helping to develop a talent pool. So we are actually checking what are the ambitions of our Polish candidates, what they are actually expecting, what they want. Yes, so this is obvious that Poland, with different sectors, will be one of the major countries under the, I would say, observations of different investors. Also, due to the fact that we are a big country in Europe, we have different opportunities. But looking at specifically on the talent pool, I think that the major key point is the educated talent pool, who is eager to develop still. Yeah, so we are still looking for the new ambitions, for the how to grow within the company. And here, the companies from the sector, offshore sector, renewable energy sector, are very much perceived as a sector of a high chances, yes, to grow, to develop the competencies, to somehow to link to the companies for long term. Yeah, so of course, right now, almost every candidate has an opportunity to find a job. We have a pretty large competition. However, it depends on what kind of job they can find, yes, and what they can do within a company. How can they develop? So looking at our reports, for instance, Randstad Employer Brand Research that is published every year, that is done every year, all over the countries, I would say, in 30 countries all over the world in Randstad, we are checking the trends, checking what is the most attractive factors that are taken by our candidates to choose the employer. Yes. So when it comes to the Poland, of course, there are financial reasons. So we have so candidates wants to join the companies that will be financial stable, that will cover the this major thing, which is of course salary. But on the other hand, the strong positions is within career development, with a nice atmosphere, work-life balance. Those factors are pretty strong. So we truly believe, and what we see even looking at our projects and investors that we actually helped in Randstad to grow, we truly believe that these sectors will give all of those opportunities that were mentioned. Like all candidates may, I mean, our talent pool will find the opportunity to grow with companies from the offshore sector, and especially from the Scandinavian companies that are even given more specific culture of work. Yes, also. So,
Diana, if I may, sorry to jump in, but to sum it up, actually, what I would think the same, that Scandinavian employers are pretty good, let's say, seen as from the Polish employees or future employees or potential employees. This is the one issue that I'm taking from it. And still we are thinking that actually even we have our problem with let's say new generation of employees. The society is older and older. Through the years, there is still a room to find a suitable employee in Poland. This would be, let's say, key point. Okay, and perhaps. Okay, yeah, but perhaps one issue, because through the war in Ukraine, we had big influx of Ukraine citizens here in Poland. And this would be perhaps interesting for our participants to get to know, are there any, let's say, hurdles, bureaucratic hurdles and so on to get such an employee from Ukraine to work for our Scandinavian companies? How do you see it?
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Poland, that's true that Ukrainian people are one part of the talent pool that we have to take into account. So one is the young talent pool that Karolina mentioned. Then we have a mature, I would say, talent pool employed within other companies. And then we have foreigners that are actually giving a very strong input right now when it comes to the our country. And when it comes to Poland, there is no problem to, of course, for Ukrainian people to start working. The process is pretty smooth. But when it comes to the Scandinavian countries, I guess that each country has some kind of requirements, specific requirements, if they would like to hire Ukrainians. Right now, we don't know. We're not so familiar. I mean, we do not have so many projects where we actually help in employing Ukrainian people from Poland to Scandinavia. It's not so popular, to be honest with you. I actually was talking to our manager that is leading this part of business in Randstad, and that's not the trend for yet. Yes, actually they are settled in our country first. We are at this stage. Yes. So right now we see that Ukrainian people develop the skills as well. We have to look at the young talent pool within foreigners, within Ukraine as well, that in some years they will become our employees, very well qualified. Yes. So we rather Polish people when we are talking about going abroad, especially to Scandinavian people. Yes, there is a, I would say right now, even this year, is a definitely stronger interest among Polish people to go abroad. Yes, to work for Scandinavian people, especially for such projects from offshore sector. Yeah? Okay. So it started a little bit more, I would say, dynamic within this year.
So actually, what you are saying, that probably the Polish companies that are active in offshore sector could or need to compete pretty strong with Scandinavian companies to, let's say, get the right employee there. But okay, it is like it is.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Karolina, perhaps the question to you, because this is linked to what Joanna just said. How do you see? You gave us some overview about, let's say, this educational platform for youngsters from young pool of potential employees. And we are, I do not want to go into this, let's say, social discussion about this generation Z, millennium, and so on. I do not think it's quite right, actually, because we have a lot of people from all of generations. Some are good, some are not so good, and so on. But still, there is some kind of trend. And how do you see it, let's say? How do you see the new generation? Are these, let's say, young potential employees interested in work in offshore industry, or rather not?
Yes, yeah, I mean, definitely it's an exciting path career for them. And I see here two reasons why. The first is that young people, apart from which generation they represent, they feel that they somehow should, that they work should be a kind of passion. They have to see the goal for this, the reason for working, and also they care about the work-life balance. It is very important that they are not imagining themselves as working 24 hours per day, but they want to share the passion, the job, and the work and the life, personal life. And I think it's very important to understand that. I have some lessons also at our technical university, and it's apart from the important theoretical reasons, it's very important to touch the opinions of young people, so to know how they imagine the world, how they see, how they understand the many possibilities that they have. And I think it's also important when I always ask them, if you have do you have any imagination where you would like to work or something, they always say that they want to be they want to feel that they are doing the contribution to the world, because this is a kind of green generation, I would say. So they feel the responsibility of building the sustainable future. And also when I was analyzing the reports about the competences for future competences for young people until 2040, I don't know, there are a lot of reports, but not from the EU level, but from Asian level, USA level, Australian point of view. The report says that 1/3 of our time, I mean of time of young people, those young people who are actually now studying, will be devoted to the self-learning, because the time, the trends, the technologies are changing so fast that they have to, apart from the university and the knowledge that they had from them, they will have to do it themselves. So this is also an important point of view. And according to the offshore wind, this is a real the real challenge, and this is also what might feel them still exciting and not like doing all the time the same thing. And the second reason, I think it is it might be exciting and a good path career for young people, is that there is a lot of space for cutting edge technologies, because there is still a place for innovation in offshore, for looking for less costs, more efficient, more productive ways of production. And so this is also somehow that might be interesting for young people, and that they feel they really are a part of the sector and of something more. So the green sustainability.
Yeah, to be let's say controversial here, but I don't feel it that it will be so, because as I know from our clients, wind industry, and especially then offshore wind industry, is a really pretty hard sector for employees. There is a work-life balance. I don't know, because you have to stay, let's say, 24 hours or so and then to work there on the platform, for example, on the construction platform. And this could be, do you think that a lot of these let's say young people that are now so eager to work there will last, let's say?
I think yeah, I mean, this is one point of view, because this is the picture that the offshore is also in the marketing, that there is a very strong guy who is jumping or hiding or something doing, you know. But it's this only, I would say, 5% of the people who are working in this sector, because the frames around are the logistic, the architects, you know, the people who are monitoring the environment, a lot of different possibilities, you know. And this is how I see it, not only by this wind farm, but and there is a possibility, I think, for this work-life balance. Oh, okay, I know some of them are working sometimes 1 month or 2 months on this platform, being away from the home. But what we receive also from our friends, also who are living now abroad, but they would like to come back also to be closest to their families, especially if it concerns Poland, you know, that they are very eager and waiting for the possibilities to work on the Polish offshore, on the Polish wind farms. Yes, and this is, I mean, it is going both ways. It is not only the one direction, yes, that the Polish employees would like to go abroad and work there, yes, but it's I believe it's a global village, and that's why it is important to have the sustainability also and to do it smart. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Then perhaps to I don't know if Michał, are you with us? Because I see you. Then if not, that I will definitely jump to you, Matthias, and try to ask you about some kind of, let's say, general things about cooperation between Poland and Scandinavian countries from your point of view, especially. You know, we are in the European Union for quite a long, but we had some problems recently. For example, we as law firm has been asked one time 3 years ago, is Poland a country of justice or not? Yeah, because of this whole reforms with Polish judiciary system and so on. But yeah, how you see it at the moment? Yeah, for example, how do you are you considering Poland as a country of higher risk making business with than that with other countries of Europe, let's say, old European Union? How do you see it?
I would say to a less extent than before. Definitely 5 years ago or even longer, it was more seen as a risk. But I would say nowadays the Scandinavian companies are seeing also Poland as a neighbor country, well established in the EU and so on. And from Swedish and the Scandinavian perspective, I would say both Poland and Baltic countries are really seen as neighboring countries. I wouldn't say that this is it. It's more, you know, now with the situation with our the situation with the NATO in Sweden and all this. I think we see in Scandinavia also very good support from Polish and the Baltic countries. So I think that has been a positive from the positive side. Now, when with the conflict with Russia and so that's my view, and also when you're getting, you know, reactions from Swedish or Scandinavian companies, that's my view, I would say.
Okay, and just recently the last elections are there some now, let's say, other approach at the moment, or is to, let's say, too soon to tell if there is any change or shift in the perception?
Regarding the elections in Poland, you mean?
Yes.
I mean, that's probably seen positive, the elections, but I think maybe it's too early to say yet, but that is we will see what happens. I think that's maybe too new for most Scandinavians, I would say.
Okay. And if you're looking at your the client portfolio, they are doing business in Poland with Polish companies. Are there any, let's say, special measurements or securements that are approach Polish companies than the other ones? This is actually something combined to the first question, but still, are we seeing as a, let's say, B basket of countries or not?
No, I wouldn't say. I think also IT sector and also qualified, a bank of qualified specialists. I mean, IT sector definitely has been one, I would say, in the foreground. Also, which are also presented in Sweden, for example. We also see, I would say, a lot of subcontractors in Sweden from Poland doing various infrastructure projects, being, you know, a subcontractor. We have, for example, these big projects now in Sweden, the Northvolt. I'm sure you've heard about a bit battery production, and also the green steel up in Boden, which is the northern Sweden is very much expanding, and also I would say there between Sweden and Poland, a lot of new possibilities for Polish companies in Sweden, but then also that making also Poland more known in Sweden, I would say, and I would say that counts also for Denmark and Norway and Finland.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And perhaps I would have some questions regarding the Polish tax system, because we've been wondering if it makes sense to jump into such a discussion here. But if each foreign client from Germany, from Holland, or from Scandinavia, they're asking about Polish taxes, because it's well known that the Polish tax system is not the, let's say, easiest one. So that's why I asked my colleague Jakub Weiss here to jump into this event. And what would you, let's say, perhaps at the beginning, some kind of specific question still, offshore. Yeah, we know it's not abroad, it's a part of the Polish, or it is part of the Polish state, but how it's treated from the tax purposes in Poland.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. This is quite interesting, good question, I suppose, because I think that, to be honest, the offshore in our meaning is exactly not the part of the Polish territory, because now the Polish law forbids the construction and use of offshore wind farms in internal waters or in the territorial sea. So this means that all offshore wind farms will be only located in the exclusive economic zone. And the exclusive economic zone is not exactly the territory of Poland. This is the territory to which Poland has certain rights under an international convention, including the sovereign right to build and use artificial islands, installations, structures, and also to generate energy through the use of, among others, wind, which is our case. So the treatment of the offshore for tax purposes is a little bit, or more than a little bit, complicated, because for VAT purposes we have to use the EU directive, CJ EU rulings, our European Commission notes, and so on. Which says that if the activity concerns the sovereign rights of the coastal state, in our case Poland, the exclusive economic zone, let's call it offshore, will be considered part of Poland for VAT purposes. But in the case of other activities, it will be a territory outside Poland. So as you can see, there is no single option. So for every company coming to participate in offshore investments, I would recommend to analyze each case individually. These projects will be multi-million projects and challenge not only for us as advisors, for contractors, but also even for Polish authorities. And as far as the issue concerned, corporate income tax or personal income tax, I think it should be rather assumed that this exclusive economic zone is understood as the territory of Poland for tax purposes. Nevertheless, the definition in Polish law is also a little bit doubtful here, so the individual analysis would be also recommended. Of course, I would only like to add that a lot of activities will be performed onshore, but connected with offshore, right? So, of course, for these purposes, this is undoubtedly the territory of Poland.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the explanation. And then if you from other approach, because there will be a lot of movement of goods or services, and what should companies from abroad, from Scandinavian companies, let's say, that will deliver goods to Poland, pay attention to? The same question, what they should be aware, or what should be make attention to if they deliver some services into Poland or offshore.
Understood. So I assume that I don't have 2 more hours to answer that. So
no, unfortunately.
To be honest, there are a whole bunch of such things to be careful about. But basically, the suppliers of goods should identify themselves in the chain. So from what place to what place the goods will be transported and how classify it under the VAT. Maybe they will be the part of the chain transaction in the meaning of VAT law. So this is also another approach and another risks, another obligations. Also, whether warehouses or other storage facilities, mentioning Newmark here, for example, will be used in Poland. This also can impact on the tax consequences. Also, attention must be paid whether customs duties, for example, for goods from outside the EU, will be present, or excise duties for certain types of goods. If it comes about the service providers, for example, that the big challenge is to classify what service they will perform, and according to the law, what will be the country of this performance, which is not so intuitive. And by this mean, who will be the taxpayer in a given case? I mean the supplier or the recipient in the reverse charge method. And additional watchfulness is needed when the company is using further some subcontractors in the chain, because here there are really unexpected catches in Polish law, even for experienced companies. So the companies which intend not to be the last in the chain, they should be extremely careful. And also, of course,
sorry to jump in, but actually this would be pretty often the case, that there will be a long chain of subcontractors because of this, let's say, complexity of the investments into the offshore wind. You mean that there is a lot of to be care of or taken into attention?
Yes. For example, it can turn. For example, it can turn out, but this is the like let's say general example with a lot of exceptions probably, but in general, when you are a Polish company having subcontractor from abroad, in many cases you can use the reverse charge method and take this burden on you. But if you are the foreign company, which is the main contractor, and you have also your foreign subcontractors, then you have to inform them that they should register in Poland on their own to pay VAT and submit declaration. So, and there is many of such things that can arise in this situation.
Okay, good to know. Okay, perfect.
And also,
Yes.
of course, this is the general in providing activity abroad, that you should assess whether permanent establishment for income taxes or fixed establishment for VAT was created. This will be a long-term projects, and even participating for a few years can establish it. So this is also quite important to check it in advance, not maybe on the level on negotiations, not on the level of execution of the contract.
Okay, thank you for this input. I think, or if you have any questions, dear panelists, or something to add, I do not see or hear in my chat box or question box any questions so far. So, or perhaps you can see something. If not, that I would say, yeah, very good in time, and that's thank you very much for the discussion. Thank you for participations. I received a SMS message from Michał. He needed to go. That there has been some important issue that he needs to take care of. So thank you very much for to everyone, and to our participants. Thank you to I hope it was interesting for you. If you have any questions to ask to any of us, just please contact us per email. In this presentation, there are some contacts data. I think we do not have contact data from Joanna, but I will ask Kinga here from our marketing that she will add you. If you could perhaps send some kind of one slide to this presentation, then we will have a complete list of participants, and yeah, this would be good then. And so thank you. Have a nice day. Still good afternoon, and yeah, bye. Till next time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.